Hey,
there
welcome to
is.
Savage
I did.
Sunday with
Somebody
GM
added it.
Answulf.
Hello, hello.
The floor is yours, sir, and I'm going to go make me a cup of tea real quick, so I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah, your weapon's on there, Stormcaller.
Yep.
You're good to go.
So Stormcaller, it can be thrown an extra distance, and it returns to me.
That sounds correct. And it should have. It's got the enchantments on there. Yeah, distance and returning are enchantments. Yeah,
Distance.
distance reduces the range penalties by 1 when using this weapon.
Yep. Okay.
So you don't actually
Doesn't go extra distance. It's
go
just more
farther,
accurate.
and you're just more accurate at longer ranges. Right. Although I guess you could throw it. I mean that effectively makes it farther. Makes it you'd be able to throw it farther because it's worthwhile to throw at long range or extreme range. Mike, did you level up your character last time?
I don't
Right.
know that I did a whole lot with that because the server went down pretty quick. Do you? Are there hit points per se? There really aren't, are there? Like what do we change? I know I need to pick a edge, but other than that, is there anything specific we're supposed to do when we level up?
You can. Looking at your notes, I think you might. You said it's got level up vigor D6. Did you increase your vigor?
Yeah, if you look at my character sheet, you'll see there's a 4-S at the bottom. That was that's the last power up. I haven't added that yet.
Okay. Yeah. So let's level up your character from. So you can pick 1 edge. You can pick 2 skills, 2 skill points. But remember, it costs double if you want to increase your skill over your base attribute.
Mm-hmm.
You can remove a hindrance.
Yeah. I'll just probably look around in the edges, and then you want to figure out how much would you want for the staff in terms of what should the cost be for that?
Yeah, that I don't know. I'll have to dig into that a little bit.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find another magic item that does the same thing. Tables. Magic items. Are there any rings that do that? Ring of protection. Ram, water walking. Ring of spell storing. Ring of the skillful. Ring of minor protection. All right, let me see. All right, so Craig, I think your character's done. Landry, your
I mean, if
character.
we're supposed to get up to 20,000 gold in magic, I'm not done.
No, not yet. That'll
Okay.
be
Later on.
part of this adventure. So,
All right, sounds good.
Let's see. Pathfinder for Savage Worlds. Core rules. Magic items. Yeah, I'm not sure, Mike. I don't know the.
Hey, thank you for
We'll
the
figure it
sub.
out.
Appreciate that. I'm back.
Let me ask you this. So, because it is actually that the 5 points is actually an edge, do you see anything that generally attracts to the value of an edge? Because that would be
right. That's a good question. I see a ring of the Skillful costs 10,000 gold piece. It gives a +1 bonus to a single non-combat, non-arcane skill. So a +1 bonus is better than a D6, or better than a die increase, slightly mathematically. But that makes me think that having a full-blown edge would actually be pretty expensive. I see. See. Ring of spell storing.
Well, I don't want to take up too much bandwidth, so we don't. Why don't we just skip it for now?
All right, you found a magic staff and you don't know what it does yet.
Okay.
How about that?
Sounds good.
It detects magic. It detects this magic, but you're not quite sure what it does yet.
Why don't you drop while we're playing? I can do a little bit more research. If you want to drop those links in for me one more time.
You can find it under modules, and then you go into the Savage Pathfinder book, and you'll find all the magic stuff towards the end.
Oh, hang on a second.
Open up the module called Pathfinder for Savage Worlds Core Rules, and you'll see them all. You'll see them all down there.
Then, all right. You know what? Let me work on this. Shouldn't have to make the DM do work. I'll figure it out. Okay.
All right. So, where we left off last, you guys finally solved the puzzle room, which that turned out to be a lot harder than I thought it would be, and took longer than I thought it would be. I don't know if y'all. Let's maybe just talk about that for a second, because I'd like some feedback on that puzzle. So, and that kind of wraps up your adventure with the. That wrapped up your adventure with the cultists or the thieves guild pretending to be druids inside the old cathedral. So what I was going for, where's the air? Encounter air fresco, earth fresco, fire fresco room. Okay, so it seems super. I was worried it was going to be too easy, and y'all.
We proved you wrong.
You proved me wrong, and it's always easy when you create it, right? But I just want to get some quick feedback on it real fast, because I plan on using it again in other games. So the main clue, here's my thought. The main clue was in the realms where elements converge, the journey unfolds in harmony, right? So there's a journey, right? So you're trying, obviously in hindsight, you're trying to activate the orbs in the proper order of a journey, right? The water fresco should have been the easiest, and y'all almost had it right towards the very beginning. You talked yourselves out of it. The water fresco literally says the journey begins, so that's the first one. That's the first part of the journey, and I do remember, like, y'all were getting ready to. Someone who was talking about activating the water. You can close these after I open them. Somebody was talking about activating the water thing, and then it was funny because then y'all decided. Then someone else said, "Okay, no, maybe we're supposed to do all four at once," which hadn't even occurred to me, and y'all triggered all four elementals. That was pretty funny. I like that. So that one seems pretty easy. The one y'all struggled with the most that I want to get your feedback on. So far, so good, right? Like the journey begins. That's pretty easy. The one y'all struggled most with that I thought was the second easiest is that Earth should have been. To me, Earth should have been obviously last because it says roots are taking hold. You kind of, taking root at the end of a journey, right? Laying down your roots. Does that, now that I spell that out?
That's an interpretation, sure.
Well, I think that would have made sense, except that there were other choices that made sense. One of them had the word "end" in it, didn't it?
Well,
Journey's End or something.
There was also a punctuation problem because you had a comma after hold instead of a period, and so we felt like that was.
You know why? Because originally it had something like "and your journey ends," and I thought that was too easy.
Right. But because you had a comma after the word hold, we were like, "There's no way that's last."
Oh, okay.
Well, I think it's I think your approach made sense, Nick. But I think the issue is that when when you have a blank page in front of you, you have to imagine all of the possibilities, and then and like this one. So like when you see clarity reigns supreme, that could be a final thing. New paths emerge. That could be a final note. Roots take hold. Without having a preconceived notion, why would one of those phrases be more of a final phrase than the other one?
Yeah. Okay. Well, so in hindsight, to me, this was my thinking. Right, is you start off on a journey, then paths emerge on your journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you gain understanding, right? You gain intellect, clarity reigns supreme, and then from that understanding, your journey ends. Roots take hold.
And for me, roots would take hold, and then clarity would come into focus, and then you finally would be on your new path.
Okay.
It's like, so like you're not wrong. It just
no, that's what I'm looking for, right? I think it's too wordy. So I used Chat GPT to help me, and then I tried to rewrite it myself some to make it more obvious, but I think I didn't make it obvious enough. I think it's still too flowery and wordy.
I think that the thing that you could add to, are you thinking of trying to use this in the future again?
Yeah, I want to save it. I want to save it and use it in webcomics and other stuff.
I think you could enhance it by adding a component that would be, like something to solve that would be more definitive, that would support each of these 4 tiles. I think like a bit of language about order and getting the right order would help, because then that would help to frame thinking. Unless you enjoy seeing all the elementals attack the party at once, which I thought was fantastic. So,
if you wanted it more kind of handheld, you could have the murals on the wall in the order they're supposed to be, and then the phrase or the whatever poem kind of flows from one into the other to give the hint that like this is what you follow.
Yeah, so it flows like one sentence from
like it's one sentence, like kind of it's not just around the bottom, but it's like throughout the thing, almost like a ribbon, and it goes like, say, starts at the top, kind of weaves its way up to the bottom, and then to the top and through the middle as it goes around the room, but it's in the order you're supposed to do it. So as you're reading the phrase, it's kind of pointing you, hey, this is the next part.
I getcha. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a cool idea. I think, I think it needs a little work. Just because it was more vague and tougher than I thought. All right, so
but I thought it was just to be clear. I thought it was pretty creative, like having the murals and like I think you're onto something there. I think most of these things get play tested, and you can never know which direction a player is going to go, right? So you could
plan
make it like
survives first contact with the party.
Right.
So I wouldn't be worried too much about you know us not getting it because another party might have come up with it easy. Yeah, I don't know that one test is enough. And
well, you're saying it's people smarter than us.
Correct. I was trying to be gentle about that. But,
oh, gotcha.
So.
No, that's fun. All right. Thanks for the feedback. All right. So, so I'll kind of do the final recap. So y'all, this was a relatively long adventure. You all started off. There was some artifacts have been being stolen in the city. You started off at an artifact showing gallery, where some artifacts were stolen. Chaos erupted. Y'all caught one of the bad guys. Bigby's artifact got stolen, plus another one that he was worried about. And then through some investigation, y'all figured out that there was druids in the city and that they were congregating in an old cathedral. And I don't remember exactly when y'all discovered. And at some point, y'all discovered that they were the Thieves Guild posing as druids. You tried to interrupt their ritual, which you did successfully, but it cost you the life of Ezekiel. And then the aftermath spilled into the catacombs beneath the cathedral, where you ran into the you retrieved both of the artifacts, by one of them through the evil druid, the spider druid, and the other one through the guild leader. As you ran into them below the cathedral, fight ensued, and Phaon grabbed the last artifact. He noticed the woman of high society that appears to be tied in with the Thieves Guild at the last moment, and then y'all found she escaped, and then y'all found the treasure room and the puzzle room, and it took a little while, but you solved the puzzle, opened up the treasure room, found some treasure beyond your wildest dreams. Almost as if your game master forgot to give you guys treasure for the first 15 adventures and had to make up for it.
We knew you'd get around to it.
But that's kind of where we wrapped up. Y'all found a big treasure room that hadn't been disturbed in quite a while. You found some magic items, and you found a lot of gold and gems and copper. And we won't role play out the details, but obviously you took great care to return those treasures back to your home base, which is Bigby's estate. And so you guys are back at Bigby's, counting your loot. Did I leave out anything important?
I don't think so.
We still never found the rat people.
Still never found what?
The rat people. We saw them dash in. That's when we chased down in there. We still don't know where they went.
I don't remember the rat people.
It wasn't rat people. It was the Eder caps.
The spider.
I thought that when we were done, that you said we saw some like rat people at the entrance of the sewer that took off running. That's why we chased.
No, those were Eder caps.
Okay.
Spider people.
Okay, bad memory or too many games.
Too many vermin to choose from. All right, so tonight's adventure is going to be a little bit of in-between adventuring. What we did talk about is meta talk here, table talk. We talked about transitioning to the Pathfinder. What are they called? Adventure paths. To the adventure path Kingmaker. So I'm going to do a modified version of Kingmaker for you guys, which is supposed to be one of the best adventure paths of all time. It's a bit of it's kind of a sandboxy, hex crawl, open world adventure to kind of mix things up a little bit from what we've been doing in the past. So that's part of what this evening is. The first thing, we're going to cover is downtime. So a couple of weeks pass, right? You guys return, where this session is kind of in between adventures. You guys return to Bigby's, you count up your loot, you rest, you recover. Several of you were injured. Somebody was injured badly. Somebody had three wounds. I forgot who it was.
That was me.
Yeah, so you take some time resting, recouping, and we're going to go through. We're going to teach ourselves the downtime rules. So in Pathfinder, for Savage Worlds, there are rules for downtime, which is anytime that you're. Let's see if I can find them. Now, where are they? Which are rules for. I'm going to share these with you here. Share. Anytime you've got at least a week, officially it's anytime you have at least a week between adventures, right? Then there's different types of activities that you can take while you are resting between adventures. And can everybody see the downtime rules that I pulled up?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So, yes. I'm not going to read through these in depth, but we're going to go through this real quickly, and then we'll talk about what each of your characters are doing during your downtime. So you have several choices. So you choose an activity below, and you gain its benefits, basically, right? So anytime there's downtime of at least a week, you can choose one of the following activities. And I'll breeze through this. Carouse means you're out socializing, partying. You spend money, and in exchange you get a favor that you can call in at any time. The greater your rank, or standing in the community, the greater the favor. Center, you focus on being happy. Could be whatever that means to you, and you get conviction. We haven't played with conviction yet. Conviction is like a super Benny. You can have a conviction point, and you can use it before you roll, and I believe it adds a D6 to your roll. So it's like a Benny, but better, because it's basically going to almost make sure that you succeed on something instead of just re-rolling. You're almost guaranteed to succeed, and you're likely to succeed with a raise. So conviction is just like a really powerful Benny. Earn, you can earn money based on what you do on the side. You can pick up some extra money. Since y'all just found a ton of money, you probably don't care about that. You can enchant items if you have the Artificer Edge, if you're an enchanter. You can train a skill and temporarily increase the skill. And you can research spells, new powers, right? You can also temporarily change the trapping of a power if you'd like, and you can also research information, right? Like any kind of adventuring, quest, role-playing type information. Resting, you can heal up, and you can gain conviction that way as well. So, keeping that in mind, I'm going to roll a d4 to see who's going first. And it exploded. Oh, come on. Holy cow. Holy cow. Did y'all see that?
Wow.
Holy smokes,
that's impressive.
4 4s in a row and then a 2. Okay, so number 4 is Rolf. 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 What is your so we're also part of this. This is a little bit like part of this too is to kind of flesh out your character a little bit, grow your character from a background perspective. So as we're gonna follow, the camera is following the 4 of you around. Each is in little montages as you do separate things. You go your separate ways for the next week. This will be before you guys go shopping. You guys are we'll definitely go shopping for magic items a little bit later. But Rolf, tell us, how do you spend time in the city? What specific downtime activity are you going to focus on? And just let us learn a little bit more about your character by following him around the city for a week. What's he doing?
So Rolf is going to spend most, if not all, of his time training. So, and part of how he trains is competing in like gladiator contests. And so he's trying to learn how to use how to use Stormcaller. And part of his brilliant idea to be able to do that is to compete in, not to the death gladiator contest, just various gladiator contests.
Yeah, this is a big city, big decadent city, and there's an arena in the city, right? And there's games, and certainly a lot of those games are gladiatorial type games, right?
That's right.
The city doesn't like the leaders of the city don't like those to be the death. So there's magical healing on standby, I think, during these games, right? So you might not get killed, but you might get severely wounded, or you severely wound someone else, and then you or your opponent are healed up.
Yep. So I was also looking at yeah, that's cool. At some point, one of my goals is to seek out rune carvers who, the rune carvers from my clan are who carve the runes into my skin that act as my regular armor.
Okay.
There may not be rune carvers in the city. There probably aren't, but I'm trying to seek out rune carvers from other clans.
This is one of the biggest cities in the world, so if any city outside of your homelands would have rune carvers, this one might have one.
Yep. So I'm going to seek out. I'm going to try to find rune carvers. They're very rare to find, very hard to locate. So I think I would have to get very fortunate to find one.
Langmar is one, like 1 million people, one of the biggest city, maybe the biggest city in the world of Pathfinder, since I've imported it into Pathfinder. So I think after some investigation, you do find that there is one rune carver in the city. So in between some of the gladiatorial games, you ask around, you find some kinsmen and ask around, and then you eventually track this one guy down. What are you trying to have done?
Trying to get new runes carved to improve my protection runes.
Okay. So that is in the form of basically buying some magical protection.
Yeah, or better armor. Essentially.
Armor. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So rather than armor, my guy, I think he's just Rolf has, he's basically he doesn't wear armor, and his armor comes in the form of these of the dwarven runes.
Gotcha. All right. So you're tracking that down, and you're fighting in the games, and that's going to give you a the next time you need it, it's going to give you a free reroll, basically.
All right, sounds good.
On the skill of your choosing. So with
Makes
your
sense.
axe, maybe it's your throwing or your and there a separate one for fighting is
a specific
melee.
skill, I believe. Trades, let's see. Fighting is a specific skill. Throwing is athletics.
Is athletics. Okay. So you're training athletics for throwing your weapon?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Okay. So basically the next time you don't like your roll, you'll get a free reroll.
Yep, makes sense.
All right. And let's see who the next person is. And try to tie these in together. Holy cow, I keep rolling explosions.
25% likelihood. Holy Lord.
That's crazy. Let me try again. I can probably turn this off.
That's when you just roll initiative.
Yeah, no kid. That's probably better. Maeve, are you so let's overlap a little bit. Are you at any time do you go out on the town with Rolf? Are you helping him look for this rune carver, or are you going to look at are you going to watch him in the gladiator games, or how's your week tied in with Rolf in any way?
I think I would go watch him play in the games, and I think I'd probably get pretty into it. I'm like a super fan, or like just overly excited, probably.
All right, nice. Yeah, I think so. You go there to see Rolf, and he's cool. He's a pretty good warrior, but there's another gladiator that really captures your attention. That's like just awesome. Who is that? What does that gladiator look like?
I imagine that gladiator probably looks more like me. Probably another elf, really cool
Female elf?
looking. Yeah, probably so. I think that's pretty awesome. Maybe I start to shout a little bit too loud and I get a little bit too hyped about it.
Nice, I like it. Yeah, she's awesome. She's like really quick. Probably what's her gladiator weapon of choice?
Oh, probably a cool mace.
All right, very cool. Yeah, and she's pretty awesome, and you become a super fan of hers, and go and watch her a few times under the guise of going to watch Rolf. For downtime, what is Maeve gonna do during the week? What's her week look like, and what downtime activity are you choosing?
I think that Maeve likes to try a lot of different foods, so maybe it's a center kind of week for her, and she just likes to kind of indulge herself in the people culture. I noticed that my character has changed a lot recently, and I think I like her a lot better when she's more social.
Very good.
Very cool. Okay. So she's she's social. She likes going out on the town, and you've got a lot of money now. You guys are extremely wealthy all of a sudden. And so you probably use some of that and I'm not going to make you count it or spend any of it, literally, but you use some of that to do some fine dining and trying different exotic foods and stuff like that. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Very cool. And that's the center activity for you. It brings you happiness, and that gives you a conviction. So in the conviction box, I'm going to put a 1 in there, showing that you have 1 conviction, which is the super reroll, the super Benny. You can use whenever. You can hang on to that for weeks if you want. Rolf, you have to spend yours in the next adventure. So you could use it to me. I interpret that as either using it tonight or next Sunday.
Makes sense to me.
All right. So Maeve is out and about, social, doing a lot of social activities, going to the gladiator games, following this new person, this new elf warrior that she's really entertained by. Maeve, do you stalk her at all, or not really stalk her, but do you like find her and run into her and become friends with her or hang out with her at
I
all?
think that would be cool. Yeah, maybe I invite her to try some of the awesome foods with me.
Yeah, I think that would be cool, right? Like she's another elf in the city, and there's elves, but there's not many, right? The city is, probably 90% human.
Hmm.
So y'all have a connection just in your race, your shared race, and so I think y'all become friends
Cool.
a little bit and hang out during the week. Next up, 1 to 10 is Barnaby. So Fayin, are you there? Are you
Yep,
back?
mine's going to be real easy what I'm doing.
All right.
Because for my level up, I picked up the healing skill because I got so messed up in that fight that I didn't want to ever catch myself in a situation where I couldn't rely on myself to get out of it. So I started first part. I started out resting, not doing the resting downtime, but just trying to heal up. And then I sought out training. So that's what I've been doing is working on picking up a healing skill.
Okay. Awesome. So you pick up what does that look like? Where do you pick up the healing skill from?
There's of course, the Thieves Guild has its own Medicaid and street surgeon stuff. So I just spent a lot of time there learning from the guys underground, because it's also when I'm going to have to patch myself up, I'm going to have to learn the things that you can use that aren't standard doctor fare.
Right, right. You gotta learn that veterinarian, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul veterinarian healing.
Yep.
And yeah,
for that
okay.
one, doing the training for the downtime, that will give me a free reroll on the healing skill.
Yeah, that sounds good. You get a free reroll on the healing skill, and you picked up. I like how you tied in your advance to that as well. Maeve or Rolf, either of you want to tie in your most recent advance from leveling up? Is there a way to tie that into your downtime?
Oh, yeah. Maybe I learned some intimidation tactics from my new friend. I'm like, oh, how do I be so cool like you?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think just watching the gladiator games, and because you're so obsessed by them, and watching how intimidating they are, and how they, a lot of them use it in this, and your new friend is especially intimidating. So I think you just like learn through observation, and that's part of why you're so obsessed with the gladiator games, right? And that improves
Yeah.
your intimidation skill.
Hmm.
Rolf, what about you?
What do you mean? What about me?
What how can you tie in your most recent advancement to your downtime week?
Oh, okay, I understand. So part of the my week in fighting in the gladiator games is, there was a lot of opponents that I fought that really challenged my physical strength. And knowing the tournaments that I was in, I spent a lot of that time working on just basically working out. I can just imagine a Rocky-esque training montage happening that fight, culminates in a fight that I have with the one of the championship matches that I have.
And you chose a strength increase. Was that
That's
what you?
right.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so you get stronger, and then it accumulates in your last battle is your best one. You defeat one of the champions, and your muscles are ripped like they've never been ripped before. You got your swole on, right?
That's right.
Very cool. Fayin, how's your week tie in with Maves?
It probably doesn't because she's at the Coliseum and I'm healing up and studying. So I don't think I've got much time to actually be out and about.
Okay. Okay. Does it tie in with Rolf's?
Again, he's at the Coliseum. It may tie in with Barnaby if he's
Sure.
he's looking for what I don't know. He said something about a bag earlier to help.
All right, we'll
So
leave it
maybe
up to
there's some
Barnaby.
black
then.
market stuff I can help with.
Barnaby, what downtime activity are you choosing? What are you doing during your week? And how are you tying in your latest level up increase?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
go ahead.
Barnaby is learning some new magic tricks. He has, and he's got a great fondness, as everybody's aware, for wine and other libations, and he is going to be carousing at night, and then he wakes up, gets through his hangover, spends the rest of the day working on his new powers, which hopefully won't be too affected by the drinking.
Very nice. All right. And
He has learned. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
you're taking the carousing action.
Yes. Yeah. So he's out making friends. He's got a little bit of money now, and when he's got enough wine in him, he doesn't doesn't think too much about his past. So he likes that, and makes just out kind of having fun.
So that's how I can tie in with him is that during an evening he gets a little out of sorts and is about to be fleeced really hard, if not worse. And I'm like, hey, this is a buddy of mine, and it's guild people about to do it, and I shoo them away.
All right, nice.
Also,
he saved his bacon. He doesn't even know it. He's too drunk to notice.
yeah, and Barnaby is practicing his new magic, and some weird things are happening around him. Things are he's disappearing and reappearing big distances away, and sometimes once he was drinking with Thayin, and he played a trick on him, and he 1 minute Thayin was at the table with him, and Barnaby laid his hand on his hand, and next thing you knew, he was sitting in the lap of a girl that Thayin who caught Thayin's eye.
Very nice. What spell are you working on there?
Teleportation.
Teleportation. Okay, that's kind of what I guessed. All right.
Can only cast
the
it
other
when he's
stuff-
drunk, though.
Yeah, the other one's probably not good for a bar. It's fireball.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
So we wouldn't want to be testing that out in the town
Probably not. No.
unless we get
All
a
right.
well to blow up.
For carousing, you gain a local favor that you can call in at any time.
Yes.
Any idea who have you been carousing with? Who can you call in the favor from?
Well, so I got to I got to hang out with a local politician, like somebody that's like a kind of like a mayor, or like this person that's responsible for uh, things in the city. So if I needed to, I could maybe we hit it off pretty well, and actually he talked me into one day coming and doing a magic show for his son's birthday, and we got to be pretty good drinking buddies. So I think we could probably reach out if we needed a favor in the city, like something to do with the the police, or the nothing too big, but maybe we could have the dice fall our way.
Minor nobleman, / politician, buddy.
Yeah, maybe.
Might help you out as needed. Excellent. All right. I like it. And through that, Rolf, you are not. You're the only one who is not a patron of, or who did not have Bigby as your patron, right?
That's right. I have no idea who Big B is.
So we need to tie you into Bigby. So, where do you live in the city?
I don't.
You don't. You just got here
Vagrant.
recently.
Yeah, I just came to the big city from. So my backstory and why I'm in the city is I was coming here seeking a rune carver, and also had learned of a Ettercaps are a big enemy of my dwarven clan as well. So I had heard rumor that there was a hive of Ettercaps somewhere in the city. And having battled them for as many years and lost as many kinsmen as I had, I was also here to find the rune carver, and in hopes of first seeing if he had news of the Ettercaps, who I just happened to stumble upon. And that's how we were all met. But that's what I'm here for. I had no intents to stay. So there'll have to be something that would intrigue Rolf to keep him in Lankmar.
Yeah, and you all are actually about to leave Lankmar too, right? So you're going to have a reason to go with these other three characters. What? So let me ask the rest of the group. How do you guys, introduce Rolf to Bigby and get, how and why do you decide that he's that you're gonna let him join your group here after just the one encounter?
That
y'all
one's
had?
simple. His fighting prowess. If it wasn't for him, we probably would have been killed by the elementals.
4 out of 5 elementals are killed by barbarian, apparently.
Yeah. All right, so one night
elementals do not choose barbarians as companions.
It's right.
So at one point during the week, you guys introduce him to Bigby, and I think you even offer, especially it's probably at the beginning of the week, especially with all the treasure, and the need for a safe place for that treasure. Bigby's estate, him being a powerful wizard, is one of the safest places in the city. So why don't y'all talk
keep our
that?
money for a small fee?
Talk or role play through that a little bit. What does that look like with you guys inviting Rolf to be a permanent part of the group and introducing him to Bigby as a mentor patron?
I think we have a bigger conversation first to talk about the fact that we now know who's behind everything, and that's probably the very first thing we'd want to talk to Bigby about. And then we could tell him about how much the barbarian helped us to, how much Rolf helped us in that fight that we lost our noble paladin, and this it was almost like fate that another another really great fighter came along and help us.
Yeah, because y'all left with Ezekiel and you came back with Rolf, didn't you?
Yeah, but he's here in spirit, I think. Ezekiel is.
Rolf
obviously
doesn't know who Ezekiel is, and doesn't typically care one way or another about the comings and goings of humans.
What is he? Is he a dwarf?
Yeah, he's a dwarf. He's basically a dwarf troll slayer, if you were to think of Warhammer lore. So Rolf cares only about who the next adversary is,
so he can test his prowess. He wishes nothing more than to die in glorious
He's
battle.
got a death wish.
So if you can convince Rolf that there are adversaries that'll probably kill him, then he'll go with you.
So let's role play that out a little bit. I'd like to hear y'all get into that a little bit. So you're in the study in Bigby's estate. You've kind of regrouped there after bringing back the treasure and kind of finishing up at the beginning of this week. The four of you are in the study waiting for Bigby to come down so you can brief him on what happened.
I did have one other question before we hop into this.
Sure.
We got that rod right off of the caster. What does that look like?
Yeah, you do. It was a it is a rod, magical rod and it's the one that blasted Ezekiel and almost is responsible for his death, right? So it's able to channel power. You're able to channel power through it. It's bone. It looks like it is not an artifact of good intent or of looks like it was created with evil intentions. It
has the taint of evil on it.
It has the taint of evil on it. I imagine it probably has like it's like bone and ivory and
is it something for like a magic caster, or like could Barnaby use it?
Well, you certainly could use it, but Bigby made it pretty clear that it's something that needs to that he was worried about, falling into enemy hands and being used. He had mentioned something about it being able to open gates, right? It's got multiple powers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very powerful artifact. From what you know from talking to Bigby, and is a very powerful evil artifact that can be used for nefarious purposes. And so he's going to be extremely grateful that that you guys recaptured it. But as far as you using it, that's about like, that would be he's probably not going to be a fan of that idea.
Wow, they did such a lousy job of taking care of it last time. I feel
maybe it's time for you to take his place.
I don't know with that
That'll
rod.
work out well.
Yeah, but I'll consider giving the precious. I mean the rod back to him, and yeah. We'll give him the rod.
There's a moment that's like Boromir in Lord of the Rings, right? Where the three of you are watching. You guys are watching Barnaby as he's like fiddling with the artifact. And you can tell
his eyes start to get really wide, and his pupils dilate. Beads of sweat form on his brow, and he starts staring at it intently, and he's very still. And he just kind of goes away for a minute or two.
Everybody else puts their hand.
Rolf looks over and is like, "Take it or don't."
Yeah,
but let's move on.
Barnaby says, "We should probably hand it back. But if he loses it again, then we'll have to find out how to destroy this thing." It's
What's the dwarven god's name in Savage World?
In Pathfinder, that's a good question. You know off the top of your head, Mike? You're our Pathfinder expert.
I'm more myself, but no, I don't know.
I'll see if I can find it.
Didn't they kind of copy straight from D&D and into Clan Dig and Silverbeard?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I'm gonna look and see if
Anyway.
I can find it. Let's keep going.
Yeah. So, but yeah, what Barnaby's very intent on those telling Bigby about the noble, about Alara. That's
but Big B hasn't come down yet. Y'all are in the study, and you're all staring at this dwarf. That's like the newbie of the group, right? Why should he join you? Why do you want him to join you? You guys kind of role play that out a little bit, maybe.
So
Just
you
for
got
a
a
few-
death wish, don't you, Dwarf?
I wish to die in glorious battle.
Well, wizards like Bigby tend to have enemies. They also tend to want to research things that are best left alone, that are in places with far more danger than what we experienced here. So maybe you want
This
to think of
sounds
hiring on with us.
intriguing.
We could use your muscle, and you might find that death you're looking for.
Just point me in the right direction.
We'll see what Bigby says, but I will vouch for your prowess and usefulness.
in theory he pays well, although I don't know if I've seen any coin lately. But he does have excellent wine in the cellar. Well, he has a bit less than maybe he realizes. He glances up furtively at the steps.
Wine. Wine is for elves. Where's the
I beg to
ale?
differ.
Elves.
That is wine and ale.
Yes. Your dainty hands can't hold a mug of mead.
Nothing wrong with some high spirits either.
All right, and after a little while, Big B comes down.
I don't like wizards.
He looks at you and raises an eyebrow. He's dressed. You guys have never seen him when he's not dressed up nicely. He always wears very fine clothes. He's got to be.
I was wondering where that was going. You see him dressed, and it's like you've never seen him dressed. I'm like, what?
From what you all have pieced together, he's got to be like 150 years old. He's unnaturally old for a human, and he doesn't look it, right? He looks like he's in his maybe 60s. And so he walks into the study and immediately looks at Rolf. And Rolf says he doesn't like wizards as he walks in. And Bigby takes you in for a minute, is kind of staring at you pretty intensely. And then after a moment, he seems to relax a little bit, relaxes his shoulders, loosens up his gaze just a little bit, and looks around the room.
Wizard, if you don't turn me into a frog or a toad, we can be friends.
Oh,
so this is Rolf, Bigby. Came in quite handy.
We'll see how well you behave in my home, and no guarantees I won't turn you into a frog.
Oh.
Where's Ezekiel?
Who?
That's why this one's with us. Unfortunately, we lost Ezekiel during the mission.
Exactly.
And as fortune would have it, this one came along and pulled us out of a bit of a pickle.
This lot tells You have powerful enemies that may bring me to my death.
That is true.
When
You
do we
see-
begin?
You seek your death, huh?
As do all of the chosen of Gorum.
I see.
Gorum is he's not a dwarven god, but he's the god of battle.
Okay,
I just looked it up in the source book.
nice. He looks at each of you briefly. Maeve, how are you doing this evening?
Well,
You were friends with
pretty
Ezekiel?
alright. Not for nearly long enough. Unfortunately.
Rolf is mindlessly throwing his axe.
In the study.
Yeah.
Bigby does a quick wave of his hand and freezes your axe in midair.
Hey, give that back.
And,
What, that's
and
all.
he floats it over to sit on a table. Says, "Please don't throw that in here." Fayin,
Yes, sir.
what say you from this evening's exploits?
I'd definitely suggest him. I say he pulled us out of a pickle, and I start relaying the story of how all the elementals came out and everything we went through, and how he pretty much was the main one taking care of it.
All right, and he nods his head in his approval as he looks at Rolf while you're telling him the exploits of the battle in the room.
My only regret is that I did not die.
I get that. So that's interesting. There's a elemental room in the Citadel, huh? I imagine that room hasn't been found in years and years.
I think a
And,
bigger problem, though, is who was behind all this, and then I go into that detail about who the lady is that I saw and the position.
Yeah, Ilaria, right? Was her name? I have a picture of her from the first time you met her. Y'all remember her? That's who you saw in the shadows, Fayin. Orchestrating everything, disappeared. Bigby's eyes raise as you relay that part of the story. And he says, "Well, Rolf, you may get your wish. You all have definitely made some very powerful enemies here in the city."
I think didn't only Fayin saw her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a eye to eye. We locked eyes.
Yeah, she saw you too, right? Which is more concerning. You all have made some powerful enemies indeed. I may need you to lie low for a little while.
What?
Shouldn't we go take out this this woman before she causes them?
Lay low.
Well, Barnaby, and as he's talking to you, he's rubbing the scar on his on the side of his face unconsciously. Says, it's
We should
not that
take the
easy.
fight to this tart.
It's not that easy.
Barnaby will he's been unconsciously playing with that rod, even though he had it tucked away, and he had every intention of giving it over, but he hasn't brought it up yet. But it's in his hand now. He didn't really notice it, and he's just smacking it onto his palm. He says, "We have to stop her before she does anything else. She is evil."
Oh yes. He reaches out for the artifact, and he says, she's very powerful woman with powerful allies.
And as he's reaching out, Barnaby will jerk the rod up and say, "We are powerful too." And but like he doesn't even know he's got the rod on his that he's waving it around.
Right.
You know how like somebody would accidentally sweep the room with an AR-15 or something.
Right. Yeah, Big B's like very. He's being very cautious. He's very concerned. Right. He's reaching out towards the for you to hand it over, and he says, Barnaby, the
His
rod,
head twitches. He's got
the rod,
the
rod.
what? The
rod.
Oh, this. Oh, yes. We recovered this. This is the thing that. This was part of the ritual that they were going to summon some sort of elder being.
Yeah, and you stopped
destroy the city. It was a cult, and he'll start talking again with the rod and like moving it around. He'll start going down another rabbit hole. But yes, we have to kill Laura. We have to take her out now before she can
Barnaby.
set roots again. And he sweeps the room again with the rod.
All right.
While that's happening, Rolf walks over while the wizard's distracted and grabs his axe.
All right. You grab the axe off the table.
Under my breath, I say, "This is why I don't like wizards. They just take things."
Big B says, finally he says, Barnaby, and his voice has a magical element to it, a little that gives it a little bass and depth and magical kind of an intention. It's almost like a command type spell, right? And he says,
from Hobbit or from Lord of the Rings.
He says, hand me the rod, please.
He'll look at his hand and like jump a little bit that the rod is there. Like, oh, I didn't realize that was there. Let's see here. I think we need to do some rolling. What should we do? Like a smarts roll off?
How I think it's probably spirit.
I think it's two magic users. I think it would be probably spellcraft, right?
No, I think you are. The rod is influencing your spirit, right? It's trying to take. It's trying to.
Okay.
Like the darkness is trying to envelop you there, right? It's trying to.
All right, let's get a roll going.
So let's say.
I'm going.
Yeah. Go ahead and let's go ahead and make a spirit check.
All right.
There's no real saving throws in Savage Worlds, right? But this is almost like a. Oh, very nice. Okay, success with a raise. So you relatively easily once you snap to, you relatively easily break the hold that the rod has on you. So what does that look like?
He'll just kind of like settle down, become himself, and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what came over me," and he'll hand the non-business end of the rod to the to the wizard with kind of like a sheepish smile, like you really need to take better care of your stuff. That one shouldn't get out again.
So, I'll give you a Benny for that. I don't know if you're going to need it tonight. He grabs the rod quickly out of your hand, and he walks over to a shelf where he's got a cloth, and he wraps it up in a cloth very quickly. He's careful not to touch it himself too much. He says, well done, all of you, in recovering this. This is not over yet. We need to do something with this rod, but I'm not sure what yet. I'll have to do some studying first. And then he kind of concentrates. He turns around and back to the group, and he says, Maeve, I believe you have something of mine as well. He says after kind of concentrating, because you have the golden pine cone.
Oh, that's right. Oh, Sure. And Maeve hands it over, no problem. I think she's probably a little bit more cooperative.
He closes your hand on it, and he says, "Keep it for now. You're going to need it."
Oh,
Oh, so I didn't get to keep the ultra powerful evil rod. Wow.
He looks at you sideways.
No, he didn't really say that. That was the player.
Okay.
That wasn't part of me.
All right. He says, "Well, Rolf, a friend of theirs is a friend of mine. You are welcome to stay here with the rest. Your treasure is safe here, but I don't think you four will be here much longer. But more on that another time. You all rest. Be careful this week. And go about your business, and we'll regroup on the I don't know the days of the week. We'll regroup in 5 nights' time. We'll have a celebration, a dinner, a small dinner, a going away party for the 4 of you."
Where are we going?
I'm not sure yet. I have much work that needs to be done and much research that needs to be done to determine what the 4 of you have in store next. However, there is a shop that I recommend you all find down in the magic quarters. The shop is a magical shop. Something about the Guardian or the Lost Guardian, or I can't remember the name of it, but it only shows up on the evening before the full moon, which I believe is this Thursday. So keep yourselves busy, keep yourselves safe over the next week. And if you are truly interested in expanding your collection of magical items, I recommend that you find the Guardian shop on Thursday Eve. And with that, he leaves. Takes his leave. It's late. Y'all are y'all came in at like 3 or 4 in the morning after all your adventures. So he says, "I'm going back to bed." And
Have a good night.
he leaves. And then y'all secure your treasure. His one of his helpers, one of his like a butler or somebody helps you with that, and he's got a safe room. And then you guys go about the week and do all the stuff that we talked about earlier.
Oh, gotcha.
And so Rolf, y'all get a good night's rest. Rolf heads off for the gladiatorial games. Maeve follows him and finds her new superstar. Fayen heads for the healing wing of the Thieves Guild. And Barnaby goes about learning his magic.
All right.
And then Thursday evening rolls around. And you all gather at Bigby's house and discuss the idea of finding this magic shop that only shows up once a month. And after some light food, and you guys head down, kind of wait until the evening. You head down at night to the city of Lankmar has streets that are streets and alleys. Well, there's streets and alleys everywhere, right? But the streets are broken up by different guilds, right? So there's kind of almost like a magic purveyor of magic items street, run by the Magicians Guild. You all can go down there. You can find any type of minor magic item that you want. Let's say any potions, primarily potions, right? So just about any potion you want. Let's say for just for brevity's sake, let's say that you each have your magic items. When we talked about their costs, I think y'all kept them around like 5,000, something like that, right?
Mine was. I think
I think everybody was in that
was too.
ballpark, right?
Yeah, mine was pretty low.
So let's just say y'all have about 15,000 gold each, right? And you're not necessarily carrying it on you right now. There's probably some money changing, turning it into gems, maybe to make it easier to carry that much money. Making arrangements. Certainly, Bigby's got the reputation that you can make arrangements to pay. But let's say you guys have each have 15,000 gold for shopping, right? So you spend some time in the smaller shops and the stands in the street. And why don't we just let me pull this up here. You all can why don't you all purchase any potions or other minor items that you'd like to purchase now? Walk me through that a little bit. Let me pull this up so I can share it with you.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah.
I just wanted to call something out with regard to the wands. That gold piece was per charge. So like I'm looking at the wand of blasts. 300 gold pieces.
So
per charge.
when the charges
that
are
makes
gone,
a lot
the
more
wand
sense.
is depleted.
Mm-hmm.
So
That
it's
makes a
not
lot
okay.
more
I
sense.
got you.
Okay, I dropped a link. I dropped a link to Magic Potions in chat, and there's also healing potions under magic items. So let me drop that link. Linkmar is a huge city, and this is one of the biggest marketplaces in the world for magic items, right? So there's quite a few items in here. Let's say I'd say anything that is under anything that's under, let's say, 5,000 gold pieces, you can find here in the main marketplace. So do you guys, and I can help you find stuff. Does anybody have anything specific that they're looking for? Do you guys want to kind of browse through the shots in the form of looking through these lists?
Rolf is going to go get. Rolf says he's going to go get cut by the rune carver.
Okay. Find a magic item or magic armor or something that you want to convert.
I got some enchantments that I want to get that are under 5,000.
So each of you on your character sheet, give yourself, if you go to the inventory tab, there is a currency box at the very bottom. So everyone open up your character sheet, go to the inventory tab, and give yourself 15,000 gold pieces under your currency.
Got it? Holy
I may have a slight encumbrance.
That just made your total carry go way up. So make sure you get that cleared out before we go adventure.
Yeah.
I'd like to start a bank, please. I mean, I'd like to put money in a bank, please.
I'm going to change mine into 1,500 plat. See what that does. There we go.
Healing potions. A regular healing potion is, there's plenty of healing potions of all kinds of different shapes and sizes. A regular healing potion is 150. A major a potion of greater healing is 650. And you can pull those up and take a look at them. And there's, as you guys are walking through these shops and stands, there's all kinds of just amazing things everywhere, right? There's exotic animals and birds. There's little, magical baubles everywhere. The really, all of the various colors and hues light up the night sky, make it a really festive environment. None of you have ever seen anything like this before. Even just the little shops in the street are magnificent. I'm sorry, Maeve, what'd you say?
Can I buy a bird?
I cannot hear you, Landry.
She's asking if she can buy a bird.
Oh, a bird?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you bet. You want a magical bird?
Maybe she could have a familiar. Even though she's not a wizard, it'd be kind of cool for a druid to have a familiar, right?
I thought I already had the fox, though.
That was for your other character.
Didn't the fox get passed down, though?
Oh, that's a good question.
We forgot all about the fox. So it must have ran away when you got to the city.
What does it say, though? Womp womp.
Oh,
Yeah, the fox, Dave, the fox did not had no interest in being in Lankmar. You've been in Lankmar for weeks now. So he may or may not be waiting for you in the woods.
Or he just wanted to stay with Illidan at his grave. I think that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I want a bird. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Like an owl, or what kind of bird? Like that hawk that I sent you a picture of that was perched on the back fence in our backyard?
Sure, but with blue pretty feathers.
Very cool.
I will use Midjourney to make you an awesome magical bird.
Dude, there's a hawk on our back fence today. And I was like, okay, well, that's the end of, we have a small dog. I'm like, that's the end of letting that dog out by itself. Like, I was always worried about that with Marshmallow, but I was like, yeah, I've really never seen a hawk in the neighborhood. Saw one today, literally perched on my back fence.
Nice.
It's so weird.
Nick, would Barnaby be able to find like a mithril shirt?
Yes. So if you all go to your if you all go to the items tab of
Yeah, I'm there now. So armor costs 10 times its normal price, and
mithril.
Yeah. So if and I'm looking at like a chain shirt would then, because he can only use light armor, but I think that mithril chain shirt would be considered light.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So he would need to be. It would cost him 1,000 gold.
Okay.
So it says minimum strength is 8. Yeah, but I'm allowed to drop that down to 6 because mithril goes down 1 die, I think. Let me see here.
Pretty.
Yeah.
Landry, in Discord, I dropped some.
Yeah, I like the one in the right-hand corner.
The bottom right?
Uh-huh.
Or top right?
Bottom right or top right?
The bottom.
Oh, very nice.
Did you want a bird of prey though, or do you like that little?
Oh, do a colorful bird of prey then, Nick. See what that looks like. Landry, I just now saw that you posted your art.
What do you think?
I love it.
Thanks. That was with one Bic pen.
It's incredible.
Thank you.
God, that must have taken you hours.
30 of them.
Holy smokes.
But I didn't half-ass it this time, so that's probably why I advanced.
It's funny what happens when you don't half-ass it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
I'm not sure how to do like enchantments, Nick.
well, so what are you looking for?
So I'm gonna get two tattoos. I'm gonna get deflecting and fortification. Deflecting, it says shield only, but I'm trying to kind of wrap it around my tattoos because I don't carry a shield. It just says my parry bonus would be increased by 1. So in other words, I would just get a +1 parry bonus.
Gotcha. Yeah, so for now, just add the items that you want, and then basically the flavor is that it's a rune and not a actual
Okay.
item.
Got it. I think I want arrow deflecting too. So I just drop it there. Oops, that did not seem to work. Hmm.
And
I can't get it to add. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. Maybe I'll just do it from here.
all right, Landry, take a look at these. Can those catch your eye?
Cool. I like the bottom left one.
Oh, that's
But I
pretty.
also like the top left one.
They're both great.
I think the top left.
Top left? Okay. Give you one more variation here to choose from.
Okay, so maybe it doesn't like where I'm putting it.
All right. How close is everyone to finishing their
I would be
minor shopping before the?
close, but I can't get my stuff to add.
What are you? Aren't
Like
you?
the enchantments won't drop onto my character sheet.
The enchantments won't drop on your character sheet. All right. Let me see. The Are you looking at Yeah, enchantments have to drop onto an item.
Okay, tried that.
So-
Didn't work either.
So, what are you trying to do exactly?
I'm trying to add some armor-based enchantments to my character.
Okay, like a shield with deflecting, but then it's really a rune.
Yeah, like an Aegis or like deflecting. Yeah, that's a problem. Arrow deflection.
Okay,
Looks
so
like I'd probably have to have a shield.
yeah, so you need a shield.
Yeah.
So give yourself a shield from the
Yeah, but I
items.
don't really
tab.
have a shield. Maybe I'm going a little too far with this.
No,
Like, why-
it's easy. We just need to grab you a shield. So give me a second here.
It won't let me add like even stuff that should go on any armor. It doesn't let me add.
You want a light, medium, or heavy shield?
Well, I don't want the shield bonus
I know,
itself.
but it's the bonuses. We don't care. That's the flavor, right? So the flavor is that it's a rune and not really a shield. But what are you looking for? Are you looking for a parry? Plus
Okay, that's
2?
cool. Like I could just do that.
So I'm going to drag you a medium shield, right? And then I'm going to drag
yeah.
you Aegis or deflecting.
Well, that's what. Okay, maybe just the shield is enough. That's the tattoo. Like, and I'll just say that cost me the cost of those.
Well, you should get an enchantment on it.
No, I think. Well, I wasn't trying to go that far with it because I can't carry a shield, and I think that the +2 parry and the +2 cover is enough. And I'll just say that it's instead of it being an actual shield, it's a tattoo.
Okay.
And that would have cost me about 7,000 of my
More.
8 or of my 15. Otherwise, it's what. Oh dear Lord! I think you put it on the wrong. Oh, there we go. I see what you're saying. And then up here, I'll just say
Is this a permanent thing or like a use type thing?
it's a permanent thing.
You can just make a. We can do it after
That's what
stream.
Nick's doing.
Just make a code for it, so you click it, it puts it on your character without having to put something in your inventory. You can just
That's what
tweak
Nick's
it.
doing.
Okay.
Yeah, Nick's doing that right now.
Wife needs some medicine. I'll be right back.
Sure thing.
Where does your armor class show up?
Okay, so that's good. Good.
9.
Oh, this will be fun. I'm go. Oh, let's see. Did I want? Okay, so that deflection would have gotten me. Let me just double check this.
All right, Landry, save the best for last here for you.
Oh yay.
3,000.
The journey is so fun. So I did
3,000.
variations of the one you like.
Whoa.
So I can do I can pick your favorite and then do variations. So
7,
that's
so I paid
variations
left.
in the top left. So
Cool.
Can't quite do both.
I like the bottom right now.
yeah, those are all cool, aren't they? Okay, so you buy a bird, a magical bird, and what it does exactly. The shopkeeper is very vague. It says tells you that it has powers, but that the powers adapt to its owner. So he can't really tell you what powers it's going to manifest.
Oh, cool.
It's going to be a mystery. What are you naming him or her?
I will name him.
Well, I hope nobody's watching on Twitch. This is a terrible.
I have to think about what I.
Right. I always like shopping, but
Well, and I can't even. I'll import the image. You, which one do you like? I'm gonna finalize that one. The bottom,
On the bottom right.
the bottom right. Okay.
Yeah, I have to think of what I want to name him.
He's cool. That
How
is
do you
cool.
get these daggum enchantments to get on here?
You drag them to the item.
I tried that
There's an
a
enchantment
billion
section.
times. It never works.
There's an enchantment section on the item. So if you go to, if you open up your rune of deflection, right click on it.
Okay, okay, hold on. So you have to pull up the item and then drop the enchant. Okay, there's how you do it. Okay, I understand now.
You got it?
I do. I do. I
Yeah.
could have done that other thing without getting a shield. I could have done it with the. Now I
Yeah,
see what
that's
I was
true.
doing
You can
wrong.
just right click and yeah.
Now I see what I was doing wrong. There we go.
All right. Everybody done shopping?
Yeah.
Not really. I got a couple
Okay.
things, but
Yeah, take your
if
time.
I get the server up at some point, I could maybe figure
No,
some
this
things
is
out.
this is kind of a downtime episode before we resume adventuring next session. So it's okay to shop. Take your time. That's what this is
Okay.
about.
Okay. Yeah, it's
Get
just
yourself prepared.
it's interest. God, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, get yourself prepared for the next stage of your adventures.
Yeah.
Deck your character out with what you want. Vasage,
Vaj.
Vaj. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's right. I butchered that.
After Lady Vaj from World of Warcraft.
Okay.
He's a Naga, which is pretty cool.
All right. Some things AI art struggles with, but some things it does really well. And this bird is amazing.
Yeah, I think so too.
Close. All right, I have it in Fantasy Grounds now. because I'm sure we will need it.
Oh, beautiful. Wow.
I like how the red is coming off the wings and floating into the air.
Yeah, I think that's cool too.
Tracers of magic coming from the bird.
Yeah, hey, Nick, based on the magic items that I'm seeing here,
Yeah.
I think the idea is to give us a flavor of what things cost and how they work. This represents about a tenth of what's in Pathfinder, maybe less. Um, so there's no cloak of protection or anything like that. So I think we don't maybe want to get into it today, but I think if we play the campaign for a while, one thing we should think about is how to incorporate other items in using some kind of using this as a guideline. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. You're looking for a cloak of protection. It does. Um,
I'm back.
yeah, it doesn't have. It doesn't obviously have Pathfinder's. Massive inventory
It's
of.
the breadth isn't there, but it's not to say that there's not, you know.
Yeah, it's easy and it's easy to adapt.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing too is we just want to keep an eye on balance and uh, you know make sure things don't get out of whack. But I think we're on the right track here.
Yeah, so there's a ring of protection, for example. So if you wanted a cloak of protection,
No, I just took the ring. That's one of the things I got was the ring of protection.
gotcha.
So
But yeah, I mean, it's literally like you could literally just rename it as a cloak of protection if that's what you'd prefer.
yeah, I might do that actually. We'll see.
I think embracing the trappings of Savage Worlds, right? You can take just about any item.
Yep.
Like Craig's doing with the runes, you can take just about anything you want that's in the
Mhm.
book and change the way it looks, or change its physical form or whatever to be whatever you want pretty easily.
So I'm reading the healing potion. Oh, here it says healing. I'm sorry. So okay, so a healing potion can remove a wound. Got it.
All right, how are we doing, everyone?
Good. Oh, how much is my
I don't
bird?
need
How much
anything.
does my bird cost?
Say that again, Landry.
How much did my bird cost?
Your bird cost 1,000 gold pieces.
Okay.
I actually just decided to keep some cash if that's okay. But I'm not going to keep it on my character sheet. I'm just going to note it on my character sheet.
Yeah, that's fine.
Assume that we have it in town somewhere.
Yeah, there's a way to turn off the currency weight, but let me see if it's under options. I think there's a way to turn off the currency weight. I could be wrong. All right, I switched it to inventory instead of all. See if that fixes the...
Not so much.
313. All right, then let me switch it to... There was another choice. Auto imply encumbrance. Armor only. How about that?
Maybe I got to do something. Maybe I got to close my character to apply it. Hang on. Let's try it. It doesn't seem to be making any changes, but
Let me just remove it. Auto apply encumbrance off. All right. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be updating it.
You can
Maybe
also just
maybe
make
the
a
next
note of
time.
it in inventory like it's an item, but just don't put any weight on it.
All right, I'm gonna be AFK for 1 second.
Can't get the shield that I essentially invested in to impact my parry. Even though I've marked it as being carried. All right, I'm done.
All right. Who's finished and who's still shopping?
I'm almost done.
I'm just gonna
I'm
grab
done
a
because
couple
I'm
of
just holding all the
potions
money.
with my extra, with a little, got enough left over for some potions.
There, I put a vote in so you can check your circle when you're finished shopping.
Okay. Almost done.
In Fantasy Grounds chat.
Everybody still there? It's awful quiet.
I am.
I am. I'm just finishing up.
I see 2 people finish shopping, 2 people still shopping.
I'm going to check my box. Hang on a second. All right, so I have about 5,000 in cash left. Where's my box? And we still have to sort out the staff. Did you want to figure that out now, or did you want to do that later?
No, we can do it. We can figure it out offline.
Okay.
All right. Landry, almost done?
Oh, I've been done.
Did you check your box in the...
Uh-huh.
You did? Okay, someone who is not.
I have.
Okay.
That was me.
There you go.
Sorry, I'm not used to using those.
Oh, no worries. No worries. All right, so we're running short on time this evening. So I think the magic item shop that shows up once a month, that shows up the night before the full moon, does not show up this evening.
I thought that's what we were just doing.
Well, no, you're in the bazaar, you're in the street shopping in various locations, but that one specific shop did not show up. So you guys have been shopping in the marketplace and some of the smaller shops. There's a unique magic item shop that shows up that Bigby told you about, but for whatever reason it doesn't show up this evening. So you all wrap up your evening of shopping and return to Bigby's, and time passes until the evening of the dinner that he has for you. And he gives you all instructions to gather your belongings for a trip, for traveling, before the dinner, to load up on your traveling equipment, be prepared to depart. And then there's a nice fancy dinner. So so all of you join him in one of the formal dining halls, and servants bring course after course of appetizers and main courses and all kinds of exotic foods. Maybe he's really gone out above and beyond for you to sample random exotic delicacies. And you all spend the evening laughing and joking and having a good time and getting to know each other better. And then at the end, Bigby stands up and he clinks his glass. And he says, well, I haven't exactly prepared a speech for you, my friends, but let me say a few words. I'm grateful for you all that we're gathered here in the warmth of my humble abode here, and I am proud of each of you, although I'm concerned as well about the path you all have taken here in the city. You've proven yourselves over some dangerous and vicious enemies, but in your triumph, there's still shadow. Ilaria is not someone to be trifled with, and I have word that she has brought in an infamous, let's say, assassin to take care of the 4 of you. So
Yes.
No. No, this assassin is not someone to be trifled with, and you all must flee. I've thought about where you can serve me next and where you can serve the greater good of the realm. And I have a plan. There is a place far to the east. Some call it the Borderlands. Some call it the Stolen Lands. I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with this part of the world, but there I have a small tower, a keep, if you will, that's nestled in the heart of the Borderlands. It has been abandoned, and it's been many, many years since I've been there. But it is, for my scrying, it is still there. It looks like it's been abandoned for some time. And it's waiting for champions like you to reclaim it and reclaim the land around it, to breathe life into its halls once more. From there, you'll be able to make this tower a new base of operations for you, to spread your influence on the land. So, I've prepared for you a portal that will take you close. I have a friend I haven't seen in some time. His name is Oleg, and he has what I've learned, he has a small trading post on the edge of the borderland. And I'd like for you all to travel there and meet with Oleg and then do your part to recover the tower, to help with these lands, help bring them under some form of tameness, let's say. But I also have an ulterior motive. There is political machinations going about in this part of the world, led by the sword lords of Rostov. I'm not sure if you all have heard of the city of Rostov, but I have acquired documents for each of you. And he reaches into his robe and he pulls out 4 little scrolls bound. He opens up one of them and he reads it. He says, "This is the guise under which you travel." He says, "Be it so known that the bearer of this charter has been charged by the sword lords of Rostov, acting upon the greater good and authority vested within them by the office of the regent of the Dragon Scale Throne, blah, blah, blah. You have been granted the right of exploration and travel within the wilderness region known as the Green Belt. Exploration should be limited to an area no further than blah, 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 miles east, west, south. The carrier of this charter should also strive against banditry and other unlawful behavior to be encountered." And this goes on and on. You'll be able to read this yourselves on your own time. But that is what I'm charging you with, to go to the Green Belt under the disguise of working for the sword lords of Rostov and tame the area and recover my keep.
recover your keep, Barnaby? What?
Well,
Or whose keep
Bigby.
are we recovering? Bigby, I mean, yeah.
yeah,
So Bigby has a keep.
I own title to it, but it's yours. Keep is if you recover it, it's yours.
Oh, thank you. Okay, now we're talking. But wait, how far is it from here?
It's only a few steps, my friend. And with that, he starts casting a spell, and a magical portal, opens up at the end of the dining room.
And Barnaby's going to be watching this very closely because this is part of that teleportation spell that he just learned. But he has never cast anything this like this before. He's only been bouncing back and forth inside of a tavern.
Right. Yeah, this is not a teleportation spell. You notice
okay.
if you're paying attention to it. It's like creating some kind of magical gate. Although it's closely related, right? They're related, but you get the feeling you're about to go.
Actually, in the teleport spell in this game, that's one of the trappings at a higher level. You can create a gate.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Stand corrected.
But I think it's like the next level up from where we are.
Right. Well, friends, do you have any questions before you leave?
I think I'm good.
You have any? How long till we can come back? Do you think?
How long does it take to tame the wilderness?
What about Elira?
Well, with any luck, she's not going to know where you've gone and will not be able to follow you or send her assassin after you. That's why we're.
But I mean, are you going to leave her in place in the city as one of the top rulers?
I will do my best to deal with Ilaria. But I imagine it's not the last time that the four of you will see her. Come back after you've accomplished your mission, and let's see what kind of state the city is in.
All right.
All right, wizard. One day I intend to face this assassin.
If you do, you most certainly will get your wish.
Ah.
Well, thank you for your help, I guess. Thanks for the keep, I guess.
I'll send word when I can. But you all be careful. Do what's right for the greater good in the area. And keep an eye on these sword lords of Restov, and I'll give you means to report back. And then he raises his hand and motions towards the portal for y'all to step through.
I don't wait. I walk right through.
Roll rocks right through, shimmers. You can see for a moment, you can see a gravel road materialize as Rolf walks through and then vanishes. Maeve, take care of your bird. There's something special about that bird.
Blue. And I send it through the portal first.
It flies through, and at the last second, you see an eagle swoop down and grab it and kill it. No, I'm just kidding. It flies through, and you walk behind it onto the path. Fayin, watch their backs.
I will, you as well. She knows who I was working for, probably, so you probably have a mark as well.
That I do. Thank you. Fayin steps through.
Yep.
Barnaby, you're last.
Yeah, Barnaby will just kind of he kind of likes the city. I mean, that's where all his drinking buddies are, and he's just like he just kind of puts a finger up, and he runs back over to the wall where there's a few like nice bottles of wine, and he just kind of loads like 3 or 4 of them into his arm, gets to the gate, looks back, sees another one, runs, gets it, sticks it under his chin, and then he hops through.
All right. You see, last thing you see is Bigby rubbing his face one more time as he's watching you leave, rubbing his scar. But he nods.
like, oh yeah, he's sending us to our doom. So you guys see Barnaby hop through the gate just as it snaps shut behind him, and he's just kind of filled, almost like bobbling, big dusty bottles of wine, as if he's never going to have a drink again.
Very nice. And the 4 of you are on the road. It's early evening in a strange land. There's forests around you, rolling hills, and a pathway leading south. And that's where we'll stop for tonight.
Nice.
Thank you for running, sir. Thank you, everyone who hung out with us. Thank you for the subscription. And we will be back Tuesday for DM Kelsto's game. So we'll see midnight central. If you'll hang on through the credits, looks like Insomnia Night's streaming, so we'll jump over and give them a raid. Otherwise, have a great rest of your week. Night, everyone.